guys, this is Tina. Welcome back to my channel. I am super excited today because I have new things to play with. I have got these cool magnets. They're from the Magnet Shop, which is like an Amazon seller. I'm not, you know, sponsored by them or anything like that. I do have my Amazon affiliate links, and I will try and remember to actually kind of link these, you know, below. But they've just literally arrived, and yeah, I haven't really had a play with them or anything. So I thought that I would come on and we'll just have a play together. Have to say, it may be a bit of a sort of trial and error type of video. They are called bookmark magnets, and they're intended obviously to make sort of, you know, like overhanging bookmarks that would then clamp the page in between. They are roughly like 1.5 inches by just about 3/4 of an inch in size. So, you know, they're not really kind of giant or anything. They're just kind of good size really for our junk journal pieces. And what I liked about them, they're self-adhesive. So I don't have to worry about them sticking. Obviously, they are not like super strong or anything. They're not going to be like a fridge magnet. You know, they're just really intended for clamping sort of pieces of paper and things. So I thought, let's have a go and have a play around and see what we can create with them. So I've got this sheet music here that's already been decoupaged down. So I'm just going to cut this down here. As I say, I mean, I haven't really had to play with them yet myself. So it is going to be a bit of a, you know, wing and a prayer kind of video, really. So I'm thinking, obviously, the self-adhesive bit is like not the bit that's intended to stick, if you see what I mean, to the magnetic part. The magnetic part is the black part. So if I were to make like an envelope that I wanted to, you know, use a magnet closure for, obviously if I stick it here, which is fine, it's going to be very visible, and then my flap would be here. So although that would work as a closure, it's, you know, it's going to be very visible to the eye. So if I put it here, obviously I'm not going to be able to stick it because, of course, you know, the adhesive part is on the other side. So I'm thinking a possible sort of way around it would be if I put my magnet here and fold a flap over, that would give me a surface to stick my magnet to, like that. And then I'm thinking kind of do maybe the same at the top. Now, whether or not then I'm going to be, you know, whether it would be then too thick for them to stick, I don't know. That's what I'm saying. It's, you know, this is going to be a trial and error video. But let's try this. So I'm just going to peel the, you know, self-adhesive thing off. And I'm just going to stick this down here like that. And actually, I want to glue the rest of the paper down. So I just take my glue and, you know, glue the rest of the paper down. So I've got the magnet down and the rest of the paper like that. And then if I fold my envelope flap up, let's see. Okay, so I mean, definitely it's sticking through that layer. So the question is, when I do my top flap, oh, I don't really have enough left. So my top flap is going to have to be visible here. I don't mind that, to be honest. You know, that's absolutely fine. In an ideal world, I was going to have enough paper to be able to fold it down, if you see what I mean, like this part as well. But obviously, you know, I didn't plan it well enough, so I'm not really going to be able to do that. I mean, we could have it like that. No, it's, well, okay, well, let's just try it like that. So if I just fold it slightly, so we're going to have like half and half, basically. It's going to be like half in and half out. And what I'm thinking to glue it down, or, you know, to stick it down, probably the best way is to actually put the magnet to the magnet, if you see what I mean. And that way you know that your magnet's going to be in the right place to stick with the other magnet. I hope this is all making sense. As I say, I mean, I really have not played with these yet, so I probably should have done that really before coming on, but I was excited to play, so I just thought I would come on and see, you know, what we can do. So again, it's stuck down obviously against the other magnet. Peeled that backing off, and then what I'm going to do is again just fold my flap over like that. Okay, and then I'm just going to fold this down here like that. So I have covered up quite a bit of my magnet, so it's not sort of too visible. Now obviously I haven't tried this with this paper over the top, so now it's going to be, will it stick through the 2 layers of paper? So we will see. Let's have a look. Okay, so I'm just press that down. Yay! And it did work, unbelievably. I know I made a bit of a meal of that, but so there we have a little magnetic, I mean, this could be little, you know, flip out or an envelope, completely up to you. I'm thinking kind of envelope, and I'm just going to stitch it round on the sewing machine, and I just love how that looks. And I mean, I just think those magnets, they're so fun, aren't they? So that's kind of a way of having your magnetic closures. So I'm just trimming that down a little bit. I'll just trim it this side as well. Okay, so I mean, that's one way of kind of using them. So I've got here some other, excuse me, some other book page, and again, I'm kind of thinking, you know, fold it up. In fact, let's not do that. Let's not do that. Let's do something different. So let's pull in, say, some decorative paper. Hold on. Okay. Oops. Trying to find some now. Hold on a moment. I mean, I definitely have a lot, but it's just... The piece that I picked up, I actually had intended, you know, for something else, using for something else. So couldn't really use that. Hold on a moment. Okay. Well, I've got some of my Victorian parlour pieces, so let me just pull in some of that. Hold on. Okay. So let's just take, for instance, well, I might have to take this one because it's my favourite paper. So I'm just going to cut it down here. Like that. And so what I'm thinking, if you were to make like an envelope like this piece, I haven't really got enough to be able to fold the flap over, if you see what I mean. So I'm thinking, like, if you were to make an envelope, say, out of this, and just pull that like that, and then, you know, your flap's going to come down here. So as you can see, I have not got enough to be able to fold it over. So let me just trim this down. So what I'm thinking is for these, you know, if you were using something like this where you didn't then have enough left to fold it over the magnet, what I'm thinking is take your magnets, and I'm thinking, you know, kind of if they were stuck here on your flaps, probably here, you know, I mean, you could just put like a sheet of paper or something, but I'm thinking here you could just cover it with maybe like a label or a book plate or something like that, and then it would still look quite pretty but not be, you know, not be so apparent. So let's have a go at that. So again, just peel my backing paper off. Pop that down there. Like that. And then again, probably, you know, stick my magnet on here where it's, you know, right on top of it. And I'm just going to again peel that adhesive off. Oops. Okay. And then just stick my lid down. And then what I'm thinking here, you see, is you could just pop something over the top of that. So here I've got just a label piece, but actually that seems, you know, seems to work quite well. So I would just glue that down around that magnet. It probably hasn't really got enough room to press down, you know, this side of the magnets, if that makes sense. So I'm just going to glue it like either end, like that. Okay, because all we're trying to do is cover up that magnet basically. And then, I mean, personally, I don't really mind the magnet on this side, you know, the underside. I don't really mind that showing. If you did, you could either, you know, you could just put like a strip of paper, maybe like a strip of book page or something across there. You could just kind of tidy it up like that. Let me just check. Yeah, I mean, it still holds, you know, it still sort of sticks on there, so that would be fine. Let's just tear that down. So you could just kind of pop that on there. Well, let's just quickly do it to demonstrate. And obviously I can just glue this one right the way around, so. Actually, let's have it this way, so we've got lots of text on there. Okay, and then, you know, glue it all down all around. And then we can just cut it here. Need to just press it in a bit here. And so that's just tucked then underneath that book page, which, you know, I mean, like I say, I didn't really mind the magnet showing, because to me that's like the underneath anyway, so, you know, I didn't really mind it showing. But if you did, that's a little way that you could cover it. So that's another sort of way. And again, you know, you could have that as a little foldy flip, or, you know, just stitch around it and have it like an envelope. So that's another one. Now, the other idea that I thought, I've got this Tim Holtz man, like with our little man, is I recently did the little, you know, fold out pieces. So I've got here a sheet of the A4 page, and all I'm going to do, in fact, I think I decided that this was the better way to do it whilst we were doing the sort of tutorial for them. So I'm just going to fold this over, get my bone folder, so that I look a little bit more professional. And then I'm just going to then fold my pieces in. So I'm just going to take this one back here, like that, and this one here, like that. Okay, now I just want to decide which piece I want at the front. I think I like this here. Yeah, I think that's the one I want to go for. So all I want to do now is chop it off. So I'm going to just come down And to be honest, I might just go through all of these. Now, I probably will live to regret this, and really it will not be straight at all, but we'll just try that. It's not too bad. A little bit wonky, but just kind of straighten that up a bit here. Okay, and then here I'm just going to make this. So if I just chop it here at the corner, and then I just want to make this a bit more sort of envelope shaped. So I probably want to cut it down a bit because it's quite a big flap at the moment. And then I'm just going to go down to one corner, and then down to the other one here. Okay. Oh my gosh, look at my tab. Let me just, okay. So let me just get rid of these. And what I'm thinking, obviously, you know, my tab then folds over here. And when I made these before, I obviously used the, you know, policy envelope closure. But what I'm thinking here is we could pop one of these on our man and have him like that. And then we could just have the other one under there. Let me just see whether that's going to work. I mean, obviously he is not stuck down, but I mean, that's holding them together. And obviously when that flap is kind of held down, I mean, it's maybe not as good as the thingamajiggly because it's not holding it at the bottom. But I mean, if this was in a pocket, it would be squashed down anyway, if you see what I mean. So all I'm going to do is stick it like this. In fact, I'm going to stick this one on first. This is where it becomes maybe a problem, because obviously I need to then pop it on this back one rather than on this, you know, front flap, if that makes sense. Because if I stick it on here, it would be, I mean, it is sticking, but it's not as strong as that way, if you see what I mean. You know, it is holding, but that's much stronger. So yeah, I mean, unfortunately I'm going to have it here rather than on this piece. But I mean, again, you know, that's okay. I don't really mind, to be honest. So let me just check that I've got that magnet, you know, roughly where that man's going to be. So just peel that backing off. Okay. So we just pop that down like that. And then here, what I'm going to do is just pop this magnet, going to stick it down here so it's like, you know, grabbed the bottom magnet like that. Actually, I could probably do this way round for the, you know, so that I can see really what I'm doing. And then what I want to do is stick my flap down on there and then stick my man down on there as well. So like that. And then I can obviously just reinforce my man at the top, just with a bit of glue, like that. Okay, and then we just lift that, pop that down. Yay! And then, you know, as I say, I mean, the other closure obviously holds it closed here at the bottom, you know, when you've got the string. But this I don't mind. And when you think, you know, if this was popped into a pocket, it would obviously be squashed in to the pocket, if you see what I mean. So it wouldn't be flapping around or anything, you know. So just an alternative type of closure there, which I quite like. And I quite like the fact that the man is just there on that flap. So yeah, I think that's quite fun. And then another little one that I thought that we could do is using sort of like glassine bags, or, you know, any bags that you've got, like paper bags or whatever. I'm thinking if you made like a little booklet, and obviously, you know, envelopes would work for this too. So if you were making a little booklet, providing that your pages were shorter than the magnet, if you see what I mean. So if I just pull my magnets in, if I were to just put my magnets, you know, like on the edges, it would be a little closure for my booklets. So if I just pop these down, in fact, I don't need to do that, do I? I can keep them together. So I'll peel off my adhesive layer. And we just get it, you know, pretty close to the edge there. And then the other side as well. Oops. Okay. Like that. And then obviously, you know, if you want to then cover your magnets up, which you probably will, just decorate them up with some bits and pieces. So again, let me see what I've got here. I've got some napkin left over from something else that I have been working on, so I could use some of that. Like always when I use napkins, I'm now completely like, oh, I don't want to tear the napkin up because it's so pretty, but I must stop being so ridiculous. So I'm going to go straight down here. And we can just kind of pop that there on the edge. And then here, we just cut it down on the other side. Like that. And what we could do is just have like some coffee dyed paper or something for journaling just inlaid in there. So let me just find some coffee dyed paper now in the mess that is my desk. Well, or I've got some paper bag here actually. That might look quite nice as a sort of contrast perhaps. Okay, so I'm going to use this instead. So just cut that down into sort of a couple of squares. Keep those other bits just in case that they might come in handy for another project. I mean, how stingy is that? But, you know, you never know, do you? And I'm just going to cut these down a little bit more. So hopefully they're just going to go sort of snugly beside the magnet. Oops, a bit more. Tiny weeny bit more. Okay. We're just going to sort of put those down there. So that's like your space for journaling there. So let me just check that I'm in frame and filming. Oh gosh, not very in frame actually. Right, sorry about that. So just okay, so we're just going to glue these down on there. Find my little spreader. Okay, and then this one. Okie dokie, come back. hopefully that's sort of roughly lined up. Oh gosh, it's very, very off at the edge, but it doesn't matter because what I'm going to be doing is obviously, you know, edging with this napkin piece. So, you know, that will then disguise it a little bit. That's fine. So we're just going to then stick this down here. Okay. So what I could have done with, like, you know, and I don't even know whether they do these, but is, you know, like a sort of magnet with like adhesive one way and adhesive the other way, if that makes sense. So instead of like being that way, they'd be like that way. I don't know. You know, like, so the magnetized side is the adhesive side. And maybe you can't get those, I don't know. I didn't obviously have a look for those because it's only when you come to use things that then you see, you know, what works best and actually, you know, what you could have done with. But that's fine. You know, I don't mind having to cover the magnets up. And it's, you know, it's nice to be creative, isn't it? And get you thinking about other ways to hide things and disguise things. So, oops, we'll just stick that down. And then the other side, like that. So again, just kind of squashing it in a bit where the actual magnet is. Okay, like that. So I now just trim around there. And actually I didn't open this glassine bag up, so I'll just kind of trim that in a bit and hopefully just open the edge of that glassine bag a little bit as well. Okay. And then this side. Just trim that down there. Yeah, I probably should have, you know, done a few prototypes and play around before coming on to do a video. But so excited when they arrived, and I thought, oh, fantastic! They're here, they've arrived. So I thought, oh, I'll come and do a video, you know, straight away. So it's just nice to have some different closures, isn't it? Really, you know, we all get bored, I'm sure, of the same old things, don't we? So it's just nice to have something different, I think. So just going to pull in, you know, some of those little words that we made from the book, you know, the book page words. Let me see what I've got here. Terrific. No, I don't want that. Individual. Okay. So I haven't inked this up yet, so I'm just going to ink up a little bit. Okay, just pop my word down. Oh, come on. Come on, glue. Don't let me down now. Oh, I can't find my little pin now either. Oh, I might just have to use my fabric glue. So, bit overkill really, just to stick that word on, but never mind. So we'll just then pop that down. Yes, I mean, hopefully, you know, more ideas are going to come for using the magnets, but this is just my first bash really at using them. So you've got then, you know, your little sort of booklet, and you know what I'm thinking is obviously you could then put some pages in here. Like I say, you'd have to make sure they're smaller pages, because if you start going too far out, they're going to cover your magnets and then it's not going to stick, you know, it's not going to close. But yeah, but I mean, if not, you could just have it just like that, to be honest. You know, I think that's perfectly nice. So yeah, I won't bother decorating the front of this whilst we're doing this video, because obviously this is really for the magnet closures and not about decorating some other pieces. But yeah, so that's just a little first stab at obviously using the magnets. Right, and then the other idea that I thought that they would be quite cool for is the little tabs that we made. So if I take that one there, for instance, and I've been storing my tabs in one of my little folder things, and I've just written tabs across the top. So again, then these all just go into my little, what do you call it? Can't even think of the word, but you know, photo box. So yeah, just in case you've made some of these tabs and you know, we're looking for any storage solutions. Again, I'm not saying that this is the best solution, but I'm saying this is how I have been storing a few of mine, or you know, all of mine that I've made. I haven't stored the ones that I have done into paper clips in there, but the other ones I have. But I thought these would be quite cute as magnets. So again, if I just then ink up around here, I mean, it doesn't really need inking, to be honest, because this has been coffee dyed anyway, but I will just ink it up. And then again, just take your magnets and pop them onto there. Oops, like that. And again, then just kind of keep them stuck together, but peel off the other adhesive backing like that. Pop that down there. And then obviously I thought that would be, sorry, I'm just reaching down to grab some, you know, a couple of things, but I thought that would be quite a cool way to pop, like if you had a couple of journaling cards, say, you could just clasp them together with the tab with the magnets and then sort of pop them into a pocket. So that was another little idea that I have for the magnets. So yeah, that's a few little you know, ideas that I've got so far for the magnets. Hopefully, you know, more ideas will come as I've kind of had them for a while. But yeah, that's my ideas so far. And yeah, if you know, if you've got some, I hope that maybe this has given you a couple of ideas that, you know, maybe you didn't have already. You know, I really like them. I think actually this might be my favourite. I really love how this is. Again, I mean, I don't know how many things it would hold. Obviously, you know, they're not that strong, but it's very cool. I really, you know, really like it, and it's just an alternative to a paperclip, I guess. Right, so yeah, I hope that you like all the little projects that we've done, and have fun if you decide to, you know, get some magnets, or if you've got some, you know, if this has kind of spurred on some extra ideas. So thank you so much for watching, and hopefully see you all again soon. Thanks then. Bye.